Okay, I'm going to try to do about another hour or so of a live stream. Let me get the Amazon one going here. All right, we are ready to go. So hey everybody, this is a stream with like no direction, because I figured that there's folks out there that probably are, getting into the waning moments of this Prime Day event, and they probably have questions about stuff that they're looking at. So we're going to try to answer those questions and kind of figure out where we go. So I'm going to just say hello to everyone in the Amazon chat, and this is an open-ended Q&A. So ask your tech questions, and we're going to do some browsing and see what I can help people with, because people are calling me all day today and like, hey, what about this? What about that? So I figured I would pop on for a little bit. I don't typically do these kinds of things, so we'll see how this goes. I don't know how it's going to go. Let's see here. So we have Dava's here. Romeric is here. Tristan Leonard is here. Hello. Thomas Woodford is here. Yeah, so all the stuff that we looked at yesterday, that's all I got. So I have nothing new, although I could unbox something else. We'll see. I have some stuff that we can look at. Nick F. was watching the live stream from yesterday. We're going to probably stream again tomorrow because I have even more stuff to go through. And we'll see what kind of viewership I get on this. I don't typically just do a viewer Q&A. Dava is downloading Linux right now. William Wilkinson is here. Greg M. is here. Yeah, nothing in Canada. Sorry about that. David Langley is here. Ed Horn is here. Trap Exit is here. And Anthony Gwynn is here. Hey, everybody. Yeah, so I thought what I might do is let's take a look and see what is actually being sold that's left, because everyone's picking at everything, right? So I thought we would just kind of browse the tech offerings and see what's out there. So, and then you all can ask questions, and I will try to answer them. And I'm discovering that I may need another computer here to manage my live stream. Actually, I wonder if this Chromebook is still available. So Pixelbook Go. Let's see if that is still on the Prime list. You said, was it? It was, but now I think it is not. Let's see. Oh, it is still there. Okay. Yeah, so I've got the Pixelbook Go here, and I'll zoom my camera out a bit so you can get a better look at it. So this one is on the Prime offer right now. And it is the most expensive ones on offer, but the other ones are actually, this is like my watch is talking to me. This one is kind of the mid-range one. And I've got all this stuff on the desk from yesterday still, so I'll move everything out of the way here. But this is the one from yesterday, which was on sale. But there are some less expensive ones that kind of fit the bill here. So what I thought I would do is just log into this real quick so that I can monitor the chat on here and then leave the Mac on the desk here as the thing. There we go. Okay, perfect. So now so what I can do here is I can trigger. So if I, watch this, if I hit, so we have Anthony Gwynn up here right now, right? And I can hit send here. Isn't this cool? So this is part of vMix. So this will send things out from my vMix social software to kind of do that. It's pretty neat. Trap Exit is here again. I think I said hello to some of you and not everybody. Buenos tardes to you, mi amigo. Yes, I know. I saw. Yep. Okay, so we're caught up here. And William Wilkinson was going to wait to buy my laptop, but I'm glad I didn't. Yeah, it's there's some good deals, right? You got to really hunt around for them. And then what's happening now is that we're getting into less availability, right? Because everyone's grabbing those deals. So here, we'll go and take a look on Prime Day here. Let's take a look and see what's available for laptops and poke around a bit. And Tech Guy just got your second dose of Pfizer. Hope you're doing okay. Yeah, you'll be feeling it like tonight or tomorrow. So for me, it didn't really like hit until the morning. My wife was like up shivering all night and stuff. It was pretty brutal there. Oh, here we go. Any Ryzen 5500 laptops on sale. So let's take a look. Now, I covered this yesterday. The way to search Prime Day, the best way, is that when you go on Amazon, now granted this is US Amazon, so I don't know how it performs in other places, but in the US they have a Prime Day section here. And so what I'm going to do is just search for 5500U, which is like the mid-range AMD, and it'll give you related ones. So it doesn't look like there are any. Let me do a search for Ryzen. Now I will say though, because we reviewed this one a while ago, this is not a bad computer right here at this price point. In fact, we reviewed this one, and I think you can find my review. Let's scroll down to the bottom here. Yep, right here. This is a really, I think this is a very reasonable price for this laptop. What you will probably want to do, if I remember correctly, is you probably want to upgrade the RAM. I don't remember what the configuration was on this one, but let me go back to my thing here. So I'm going to add this to our product carousel. But I bought this one with the intent of reviewing it and then like reselling it like we usually do. And I did not. In fact, I lent it to somebody to use for live streaming. Now, I don't recommend using these machines, these lower end machines, as live streaming machines for like production kind of stuff, but they were streaming out to Zoom, and this has worked really well with the Blackmagic ATEM switcher that I have. So that's something that I think is worth looking at. I just highlighted this on the product carousel here if you're watching. So that's a pretty good deal. And if I'm not mistaken, why don't we go and look at my video review, because I'm pretty sure that this is upgradable, and I no doubt covered, look at my hair. That was when my hair was long because of the COVID thing. Let's go scroll through here, because I know I covered the upgradability. Let's jump ahead here a little bit. There's the ports. Yeah, so let's see if I took it apart. I think I took it apart. In fact, I know I did, because people always want to know if it's upgradable or not. Let's see if we can. I'm talking a lot about the bottom and the fans. Okay, that's the webcam. Okay, so we get all that. So I think if I did the teardown, we'll keep watching this for a minute and see if we can find it. But this one, I really like this one. David said, is there anything I reviewed for Prime Day that piqued my interest? I haven't found, it's funny, usually every year I buy a bunch of stuff, and I think I've bought everything that you typically would buy for Prime Day. It's kind of funny how that plays out. So I did not see anything. I'm going to take a look tonight. I was thinking about getting that monitor that I talked about yesterday, and then I realized that I already have a 4K monitor in a box that I haven't taken out yet. Not as nice as the one I was looking at, but I said, you know what, I'm going to hold off on that. Give me a second, though. I'm going to just search YouTube, because I can more easily jump to the section of the video that I want to go to here. Swift 3, 700U. Because I'm pretty sure I did a teardown of this one, and that would give us a better sense of that. So if I go in and look at, I'm just going here on my Pixelbook, and we're going to search for hardware overview, processor, RAM, and storage. So let's see what I said about that. SSD, which is performing quite nicely, so that's nice to see here. And you can upgrade that if you want. Now the weight on this one. Okay, so we got to back up a little bit. So I had this issue where my indexes had been off by a couple of seconds. A little bit. 8 gigabytes of RAM inside, not upgradable, unfortunately. Okay. It has a 512 gigabyte NVMe SSD. Which that's right. Okay, so that's nice. It is the RAM. The RAM is not upgradable on this, and I mentioned that in the review. So that's unfortunate, but it is dual channel RAM. So although you don't have 16 gigs on this model, it's dual channel, so at least they didn't hinder the performance. Because this one performed pretty well, if I'm not mistaken. So this one was a good one. And hey, we got another Lon here. That's pretty cool. He's Lon with 2 L's. I've never seen that spelling before. L-L-O-N. Pretty cool. So welcome to Lon.TV, and you should register LLon.TV. I'm sure it's probably still out there. Raul said, I'm famous on Amazon. Not today, but some days I am. Yeah, it's been fun. I like doing these live streams on Amazon. Tristan was thinking about getting a microscope for soldering. That's not a bad idea. Is there a specific type that you would get for that? I don't know. Let me finish searching for Ryzen laptops, though. So I think so far, we'll look for the microscope next. This is, I think, probably the best deal. But let me do another search. Again, we're going to search for Prime Day, and we're going to type in Ryzen. And just Ryzen. Let's see what we get. So then we get, of course, some of the desktop processors that are on sale. And I'm just looking through here. So there's that Swift 3 again. And I can maybe add another search term here called laptop. And let's see if we get what we get there. Okay, so a couple more. Now here's another one that, oh, this is the i3 version. Never mind. We came across that yesterday. i7. This one isn't bad. We reviewed that. I reviewed a lot of these, actually. Yeah, it looks like that Acer is like the only Ryzen machine available at the moment. I'll have to take a look. So Tristan is looking at a microscope. So let's do a search for that, a binocular microscope. So let's see what they've got for that. So again, we're going to search Prime Day for binocular microscope. And here's one, $183. Now, I don't know if you want like something like, I'm guessing something like this is probably what you would get, right? Because you don't want to have a slide underneath it. I'm not sure what you would use for that. That's like $223. Here's one that outputs to the computer. Is there a specific one for soldering? Is that an actual thing? Here's a professional dissecting microscope. I guess this would probably be similar. Looks like it's got two little lights that come down off of there. Oh, interesting. So Greg says the best ones, I don't know much about microscopes. Greg here says the best ones are trinocular, so you can capture the work and see through both eyepieces at the same time. That's pretty cool. All right, so Dava wants me to do a search for the HP Chromebook 14A. Now, I am almost positive I reviewed that one. I review a lot of laptops, as you all know. So you're looking at the X360 14A. So let's pull that one up real quick here. So this one has the N5000. So this is going to perform, a little better than an ARM one would, right? Because it does have the Intel. So it's kind of good for that sort of thing. It's got two USB Type-Cs. Yeah, I'm almost positive I reviewed this one. Let me see. If I didn't, I should have. Maybe I should review this one. I'm almost positive I did. I got to put this up on the listing there. HP Chromebook X360. So this one's probably pretty good. Runs Linux. 360, I think it has does it come with a pen or you can use a pen with it? Yeah, I'm not sure. $289, not a bad deal. The only concern, and it's funny, I never used to be concerned about RAM on Chromebooks. It has 4 gigs of RAM. And I never was all that worried about that, but now because we're running Linux and Android and multiple tabs and these Chromebooks are becoming more useful, I'm always a little nervous about the recommendation of, or the 4 gigabytes of RAM. Interesting. Ritz is here. Hello. Let's see what else they have for Chromebooks. I haven't done a lot of we looked at Chromebooks yesterday. I'm curious what's left. So let's go back and search for Chromebooks. So the HP 14. This one's actually, I know I reviewed this one. This is not a bad deal. Again, you've got 4 gigs of RAM. You're kind of limited on the storage, although I think they're getting more open on the issue of external storage for Linux. And, it's a laptop. Hey, there we are. Look at that. We're popping up right here. So this one has the N4000 processor, a little slower than the N5000. But it's good for the basics, right? And then you can start playing around with Linux on it. And if you screw up Linux, you just erase it and reset it. Now, does this one have this one does not have the SD card slot, that's right. So you could plug in an external on there if you wanted to, but. And then one more quick one, and then I'll get to this next question. So this one is the Galaxy Chromebook. So let's see what we got there. That one, I should have bought that one. I think it might be the prior year model, because that was on sale, wasn't it? Let's do a Prime Day search for Galaxy Chromebook. Ah, yeah, because the red one was there yesterday. So this one is selling for $6.99 on a Prime Day deal. So let's look at that one. Okay, the red one is not on sale, or at least it costs a little bit more. And I should move my head. Let's move my head. Should we move my head? Should I move myself up here? How do I move myself up there? That looks kind of weird there. Maybe I'll put myself. See, the problem is my lower third goes right over me. I guess I could move the title over, maybe. Could do that, or maybe make it smaller. Let's try that. Let's make that a little bit smaller. Then it's going to be harder to see, right? So I can move this and kind of shift it over here a little bit. That works. Okay, so the Galaxy Chromebook, this one, so they're calling, wait a minute, what am I looking at here? Galaxy Chromebook, but it's saying Galaxy Book Go, which is the one we just reviewed with the Qualcomm. This is all out of whack. What's this all about? Oh, wow. Let me refresh the page. Did they screw this up? This says Galaxy Chromebook at the top, and then you get all this stuff for the Galaxy Book Go. This is not accurate. So what are they selling you here? Are they selling you because at that price, yeah, that's definitely not the price. That is weird. I think they have a listing error. Very strange. That's a listing error. So what does this have for specs? Because by the time I get down here, see, it's saying now over here it's 4K, i5. Okay, so, wow, it's got a 4K display, an i5. You don't have the fast graphics, but you don't really need that. 256 gigabyte SSD. That's not a bad, that's not a bad deal. You get a pen with it too? Yeah, looks like it comes with a pen. That's a good price. But I'm concerned because this is all wrong here. I don't get it. That's weird. All right, next question. Let's go see. We'll see what else we got here. I would love to get a portable monitor that can go with my M1 MacBook Air. So a QHD. So let's see if there's any portable monitors on sale. I did see a few. And one issue you run into with the portable monitors is that they're not as bright, especially if you're powering off the laptop. But let's see what we have here. So most of them are full HD. So let's scroll through here and see if I can. Here's a 4K. I just don't know the brands. This is the problem, is that when you get these brands that you're not familiar with, it's hard to say. Tino asked the question just now, how much is that? Can you let me know what you were just asking so that I can make sure I'm giving you the right answer? Let's see here if I can find one that's, yes, these are all like no-name brands. Liatsu, Mobile Pixels, Trio, John Will. And this is what happens. You get into some of these things and it's not always the best. So let's drill down a little bit further and let's say portable monitor QHD. So here's a 2K, 10.1 though, that's pretty small. And who's making that one? Here's a 4K, again, the same one we looked at before. Yeah, see, I'm just nervous about recommending any of these because, like, these are regular monitors. Because the resolution's one thing, but what is it going to look like when you get it? That's what I'm always concerned about. Okay, so let me, so I don't see, by the way, I don't see something on the portable monitor front that I would be comfortable recommending because I haven't tested any of them and I don't know the brands. So I'm not going to be of much help on that one. However, let me go and pull up. We have a question. I'm going to add these questions that I'm getting on Amazon to the chat so that I can help here. So Rosemarie Daffer, best easy-to-use Apple Watch for a mother. And you know, it's funny, we looked at a couple of lower priced fitness watches yesterday, and it was kind of hit or miss, wasn't it? So Rose from Amazon, let me just type it out here. Best, let me see if I can copy this. Might be easier just to do a copy and paste. Yeah, I can copy it, cool. All right, so you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna paste this into the chat real quick. I'm trying to figure this out as I go. So we're gonna look for fitness watches. I'm probably gonna land on Fitbit on this question, just so you all know. And the reason is that I think those are, because I'm concerned about, let's type this out real quick, and we'll just paste it over. See, what's cool is I can paste from my phone to the computer, and then I can just paste this in. So the next question here is going to come from, and it's going to pop up here in a second, and we'll see what that looks like. There we go. Okay, so best easy to use, and I'll come back to that topic, by the way, in a second on the monitors, because we can look at some non-Prime Day stuff too, right? All right, so Rose on Amazon is asking about fitness watches. So let's see what they have here. And if you want something for your mom, you want something simple, right? So I would say, like, you can get into this Garmin stuff, but it gets really complicated. There's one for kids. There's the Honor brand. Yes, then we get into all the wacky stuff. Let's see if anything from Fitbit is on sale. I may direct you off of, here you go. Okay. So I think if you want a basic fitness monitor, this is probably the one I would recommend. It's relatively inexpensive. You'll find cheaper ones for less money, but it is a Fitbit, and it's well supported. I think, didn't Google buy them? I think they did. It's easy to set up. You know, you are sharing your data, so you will have to deal with some of that. You know, this premium stuff you don't necessarily need. But it's only going to do heart rate and you know, tracking your steps and stuff. And if that's enough, I think this one would actually work out pretty well. I'm going to add it to the carousel. And Tino has a good response there as well. Agrees with me on that. Let me just add the Fitbit to the mix here. So if you're looking for a Prime Day deal, I think this one is probably what I would recommend. The price is right. It's pretty reasonably priced at this rate, and Fitbits are decent. And you know, it's a good little watch. It'll do some notifications, you know, basic stuff. So that should work. And I will check, though, and see if anything from Withings is on sale, because I like the way their stuff looks. So there's a few things from Withings here, but yeah, the rest of them are, okay, they do have some Prime Day deals. So I've reviewed this before. The Withings Steel HR, and there's different sizes and stuff, so you can look around and see what works best. What I like about the Withings watches is that the battery life on them is that you get about a month out of it in between charges. And the reason why the battery life is so good is that it uses regular hands. This is not like, it has a digital OLED display here that you can see in the middle, but for the most part, these are using like regular watch hands. So the battery life is significantly better on these than some of the flat out digital ones that are out there. And because the battery life is so good, they're really good for sleep tracking, because you only have to charge it up once a month, and it doesn't take all that long to charge. So that would be another recommendation there. Let me switch over to my YouTube group here. Now Anthony is saying that they're going to phase out the Fitbit for the Wear OS platform. I can't imagine they would abandon all the Fitbit users, though, right? I mean, I think they may, because it's collecting some pretty basic information. So I think they're going to have to find some path for those users. And some folks are saying the Fitbit Inspire, was that the one we were just looking at? Let me just make sure. Yes, that was it. And Bruce Johnson here says it's been simple for his mother. So that's what I would recommend there. Anthony Gwynn has a suggestion on the Wise watch, and that one's also pretty basic. I like the Wise stuff, and you all know that I do. They're not a sponsor or anything. I just like their stuff, and this one is going to be like a lower priced version. This one's $30. And their app is okay. It's not bad. So that's another one that's worth considering. The Fitbit one might be a little bit easier on the onboarding, because it's, you know, Wise's app covers everything. whereas Fitbit is more focused on fitness. But if you want to spend less, I think the Wise one is good. And then Tino is saying that the Versa, is that a Fitbit? Fitbit Versa is the best one that is small. Let's see. Okay, so that one looks more like the Apple Watch. That one costs a little bit more though, doesn't it? Yeah, it's like $150, somewhere in that span there. Yeah, so that's more Apple Watch-like, and then the one we just looked at, the Inspire, is a little bit smaller. But yeah, there's some good choices out there. Bruce Johnson was asking about the watch we were just looking at. Does it have a separate battery for the hands? No, it's one battery for everything. But the battery, like I said, the battery life is just on the Withings is just really good. And they're pricier, but they're also classier. And they've improved it a bit also because for a while it was like hard to see the hands against the face, but they've kind of made it nicer to look at. So it's pretty nice. I think they've got two sizes. Yeah, they have a 36 millimeter and a 40 millimeter. And then the bands are easily replaceable, so you can swap those out. Their app is really good. Their app, just like the Fitbit, their app will interface with Google Health and all the other ones too. So you could do that. Let's see. Some more discussion on the whole thing there. Tino, I'll make a little chat here from Tino. Let's do that real quick. And so you're asking for laptops. Let's take a look and see, because it's funny. I've been doing laptop searches all day today, and the laptops have been changing throughout the day. I'm guessing because of stock. So let's take a look on the laptop front and see what, if I just type in laptops, what we get. And so we get that Chromebook 14. Actually, it's funny. The two that we just looked at earlier are top of the line here. So I would say if you're looking for, if you want to spend $500 on a laptop today, the Acer Swift 3, which I reviewed a while back when it cost more, this is a nice laptop. My only reservation with it is that the RAM is 8 gigs and will never be more than that. But it's configured properly, so you're going to get the full performance out of its processor. And the Ryzen 4700U is a great, it's an octa-core. And here's the thing, on the Ryzen processors, when they say it's 8 cores, it's really 8 cores. It's not like 4 low-powered ones and 4 faster ones. Like it is significantly well-performing. Let's put it that way. And I think I've got one of my benchmarks in the review here. Let's play that real quick. And yeah, so you can see just how it plays games. Here, I'll back up a little bit. So this was back from last year. So that's the 2016 version of Doom it was just playing there. Here, I'll give you the full screen here. That's Doom. It's at 720p, but you look at it, it's like running at like close to 75, 80 frames per second. Isn't that crazy? So that's just, out of a laptop with no GPU on board. And that's what really impressed us when we did the review of this. I'm pretty sure that's 720p. So you can actually play games on it if you wanted to. This is No Man's Sky. This one's pretty demanding. I would venture to say that No Man's Sky might run a little lower performing right now because they've upped the requirements. But this is a GameCube emulator running the hardest game to emulate on the GameCube, and it just did it. So these Ryzen chips for a $500 computer, my gosh, like this is a nice computer. Like I said, I have this one that I bought this one. I have this one deployed on a streaming thing that I set up for somebody. Look at the stress test. It cools itself. Like there was nothing I could find that was an issue. It ran Linux also. And let me go if I could find the benchmarks on this one. Here's Rocket League. Let's see. Here's GTA 5. Let's show you some more games here. You can't hear what I'm saying because I'm talking over it right now. But this is like GTA 5 at 720p, and it's like totally playable. And so you buy this $500 laptop, and you're getting like a little gaming computer out of it. It's really good. So check out the review. It's on the product page, so you can actually listen to it. But I think if you were like, if this is what you were looking for right now, like you want to spend $500 on a laptop, this thing is really good. And even though it's last year's processor, it is still like just an exceptionally good value, I think, at that price. Because I think I paid close to $700 for it. Here's what I was looking for. So let me pause this real quick. So this is my 3D Mark Time Spy benchmark test. And to put this into perspective, I compared it with computers that were running with GPUs. I'll pull this back up here. And it actually performed as well or close to my XPS 15 from just a couple of years before. I was going to typo in that chart there. With a GTX 960M GPU. Look how close it comes to that. And it actually is matching the MX150 GPU. Again, a separate graphics processor. It was able to best. So that's pretty good, I have to say. So there you go. Cacophony had a question that I missed. Hang on, let me go through my, oh, here we go. So Cacophony is asking about the review problems. You know what the solution to the review problems is? Here's what I would suggest. I would go and look at whether or not there's any videos in this video shorts section, because I am putting stuff in here now. So this is a really good place to look for a good take on a product. And if you don't see one here, then ask me about it, because I might grab it and review it and put the video up there. So that's what I would look for. And I also, when I look, by the way, when I'm looking at reviews, I actually purposely drill into the 3 and 2 and 1-star reviews. And if I don't see any 3, 2s, or 1s, then I know something's not right with that product. And generally, it's not on the name brand stuff. It's usually on the no-name stuff. That's where I typically look at. Bruce is asking, are there any deals on iPhones? Let's take a look at that. We'll pull up on our screen here and go back to Prime Day. I doubt it, because Apple never has sales. They do like a sale once a year. Yeah, you're just going to find cases and stuff, unless you're looking for a different phone. I wonder if the Pixel phones are on sale. Nope, no, those aren't on sale either. Just cases. Let's do a search for smartphones and just see what we get. So the OnePlus 8 is on sale. I have not tried that one. You know what's funny? Here's a good one. And granted, you got to get TrackPhone and yada yada. But you can buy an unlocked, or maybe it might be locked. I don't know for sure if this is, oh, it's locked. Never mind. This will only work on TrackPhone, but look at the price. So you could buy the phone and never even activate it and just put it on Wi-Fi and get a phone for $35. And we've looked at these from time to time. They are not great, but they're functional. Like you will be surprised what you can run on a $35 smartphone. So there you go. Eric is asking, some person said Apple Watch Series 6 was $279 for a 40 millimeter. Do I know who has it at that price? That is a good question. Let's take a look. Apple Watch Series, I don't think it's down to that price yet, is it? Yeah, $349. There's nothing in Prime Day. You're never going to get a deal on watches. Oh, here's $239. This is a Series 4, though. Yeah, I don't know where they would be selling that. It looks like the product red one is $349. Let's take a look and dive into the listing here a little bit. Yeah, I think the starting price is lower than $349, but it looks like they're sold out for the most part here. $799 for that one. Yeah, so I don't think there is a $279. You might be able to get a Series 5 or 3. What will the Series 7 bring? I don't know. You know, like I have a Series 6, and I upgrade to a new watch whenever there's a new health tracker that comes out. So for mine, what I did, I was on the Series, so I had the original one, and I went from the original to Series 4. That was a big jump. And Series 4 added the EKG feature. And then I skipped Series 5, and I went to Series 6 because it had the pulse oximeter. So anytime there's like a new health sensor, that's what usually gets me to do the upgrade. And they're a lot faster than they used to be. Okay. Edgar's asking, are there any gaming laptops? So let's take a look. There were some before. And actually, there was a good deal on a Lenovo yesterday. I don't know if it's still up here. It was an older one. As the stormtroopers say, it was an older one, but it checks out, right? It may have sold out. Let me look and see if it's a Chromebook. Yeah, that one sold out. Yeah, those went quick. There was a bunch yesterday, but let's see what's available today. So, and I'll leave it to some of you to determine if you think this is a good deal or not. So let's take a look at the lowest priced one. I think it's that one, right, at the top. 16, 1999, 804. This one's got three stars. But that's the lowest priced one so far, and the rest of these are not technically gaming laptops. So this one has an NVIDIA 1650. It's an MSI. I don't have a lot of experience with MSI computers, so I can't comment on its quality. And I was looking to see if it had Thunderbolt, but it doesn't. It does have built-in Ethernet, which is good. So this one has an i5 10300H 10300H, so 10th generation chip, and a 1650. So that one, not bad at that price, I think. I mean, especially given the cost of GPUs right now. So that one, it might be worth a shot. The reviews on it, though, let's take a look. Oh, somebody's saying that the specs are not accurate. Ooh. Okay, I think they fixed it because this one says 1650. So, I mean, it's not bad. I mean, it's not going to be rival some of the other ones. It looks like there was so the bad reviews here are mostly from what the listing was incorrect about. So I'm guessing they probably fixed that. And Amazon's pretty good at taking returns on those. Let's take a look at the one at the top here. So this one has an i7 and a 1660 Ti, which will deliver much better performance. And if I'm not mistaken, was it the 1660 Ti that's the same as one of the other ones, just without the, oh, this one is RTX. Is it? That's GTX. See, these listings are all off. RTX is different than GTX, so you don't get the ray tracing with this one. But 1080p display, it looks like it's passable. I haven't reviewed this one, though, so I can't comment. But there's not much today. Not much today. Teddy's asking me about vacuum cleaners. I know nothing about vacuum cleaners. That's out of my wheelhouse there. Let's see. Let's see what they got for vacuum cleaners. How about a Eureka? It's got paws on it. The Power Speed Bagless Upright. $68. I have an Auric. I don't know if the Aurics are on sale. I have an Auric that I use down here. It's low tech. Yeah, this is what I've got. I have this very model right here. See that? I purchased it on May. So when I was doing the basement over, I got the Auric XL. And let me tell you, it doesn't have hoses or crazy attachments, but when you run it over the carpet, and it looks beautiful down here when that Auric is done. That is a great vacuum cleaner. And you get an additional 20% at checkout. It does use bags, but to be honest with you, bags are easier to clean, I think. Yeah, I love this vacuum cleaner. My wife likes it so much. So we have central vacuum in this house, and my wife actually grabs the Auric from down here and uses it in some of the rooms because she prefers it to, it's lightweight. It's like, they're amazing. That's what I got. But again, you're talking to the guy who knows nothing about vacuums. I bought a vacuum 4 years ago, or 5 years ago, and that's what I use. But it's still working. So unfortunately, I don't know the answer to this question, but maybe somebody would know. Does it run Elite? I don't know. I don't even know what that is. Maybe somebody can help in the chat room. Connor's wondering about the A-word devices. So let's take a look and see what Amazon devices are out there. Now, what I would recommend on Prime Day is, so we've been searching, right? But if you also drill into their browse section here, you can click on Amazon devices and see what's on sale. So this is the Echo Dot, $25. Oh, look at this, $18 for, which one is this? This is the Stick Lite. And as we discovered, the Stick Lite is very similar to the non-Lite version. There was a couple of things that were a little bit different, I think, with the remote. But the Stick Lite's a great streaming box, as is the 4K. Both of these are great deals. I used to love the Blink cameras. I'm a little less so now because they're all subscription based now. Before they weren't. But I liked the Blink cameras for a long time. Some TVs here. The all-new Fire HD10. In fact, I have mine right over here. I have to charge it again. But this is on sale for $80 from $150. That's a good deal. And these will work. This is what's cool about these. These will work as A-word devices. You can put them into show mode. So they'll work like that. So that would work. All right, another question from Amazon here. But yeah, I would go to this page and just scroll through and see what's on offer, because most of the Amazon products are on sale, as you can see. And the Fire Sticks in particular, that's a great deal. And at half price. You could buy 2 for 1. It's 2 for 1 on Fire Stick 4Ks. That's a pretty good deal. And they actually perform quite well. We got another question from Amazon. This is from Joe from Amazon. Joe asks, do you have any recommendations for desktop PC speakers that won't take too much space? Let's take a look. Now, I don't do a lot of speaker reviews, but I might be of help here. So let's grab Joe's question from Amazon, and we will take that one. And I'm going to try to get to everyone's questions as best I can. And we got a super chat from Eric's Variety Channel too, so thank you for the super chat, Eric. He's got a OnePlus 8 5G, which we looked at a few minutes ago. Loves it. Awesome. Now, where is my chat here? It hasn't popped up on my list yet. There it goes. Okay. All right, so let's handle Joe's question here, and then I'll get to a few more. Do you have any recommendations for PC speakers that won't take up too much space? So let's go back up to Prime Day here. So he has nice lighting, this guy here. I don't have that. He's like the official Amazon guy. PC speakers. All right, so let's take a look at PC speakers. And here's the problem. I know nothing about, I know some of the major brands, but not some of the other ones. Now, who makes these? Those might take up a little bit more space. Yeah, these tend to be like dime a dozen, these ones, right? Like they're all no-name brands. Maybe some recommendations from the chat might help, because there's nothing like standing out to me here. Let's scroll over a little bit more here. Yeah, they're all like, I'm just looking for like a name brand, one that I know. Edifer. So these are a little on the bigger side. So they're more like bookshelf speakers. But I've reviewed an earlier version of these, and I kind of like them. Again, they're bookshelf speakers, so they're going to be a little bit larger, but you have some flexibility with them. You have some, controls on the side of them. You can plug in devices beyond your computer if you want. You got, looks like a woofer and a tweeter there. Is that right? And it has a subwoofer output, so you can kind of go beyond. So those will sound pretty good. I've looked at those before. They're not bad as a budget speaker. Let's see. Yeah, I'm not seeing a lot of small things that, and without testing them, I'd be loath to make a recommendation. So I'm not seeing, oh, here you go. These are probably about the same size. So these are also Edifers. The Edifers I've looked at and I liked. So that's why I'm kind of drawing myself to them. So Old Scruffy One says, Creative Labs has the Pebble. Haven't tried them, but they're small. Let's see if those are in here. Let's do a search for those. We'll type Pebble speakers. Yeah, it doesn't look like those are on sale. Yeah, not much help here because, again, I don't want to recommend something that, even at a low price, that I am not comfortable recommending, because I'm always worried about sound quality. And I'm guessing you want stereo speakers too, right? So that's another factor. Let's try to look for computer speakers and see what we get. Now I'll take a look at the chat here and see if people are also commenting on. Let me look and see if Logitech, yeah, Eric's Variety Channel was bringing up some suggestions about Logitech. Let's see if they have any for sale here. It doesn't look like it. I'm not seeing a lot of name brands, although I keep going back to these Edifers. So But these are bigger, so they're bookshelf speakers versus like low space-saving ones. But again, I'm really reluctant to like just recommend something without actually trying it. Some wacky designs though, isn't there? Yeah, sorry about that, Joe. I don't have a good, at least for something that's on sale. Yeah, Klipsch makes, yeah, there's a lot of good speakers. I'm surprised. Let's just look for speakers and see what we get. Again, I'm just searching Prime Day because that's today. I reviewed the JBL boombox last year. That thing is loud. It's big and heavy though. Let me do a search for, let's just search for some brands that we know, right? So let's search for Klipsch. Oh, here you go. Again, bookshelf speakers though. Yeah, they're all bookshelf speakers. And these are big floor standing speakers. These look small, but those are big. Yeah, I'm not seeing much there. Let's see. Joe says the Harman Kardon sound sticks. Let's see if they have any of those. So Harman Kardon. Let's take a look at those and see what we find. Harman Kardon. Yeah, nothing. Again, we're searching only Prime Day, so that's part of why we're not getting as many results. And maybe I'll just get rid of that slash there and just do a space. Yeah, it looks like they're not offering much there. I'm coming up empty on those. Let's see here. So Thomas Woodford, again, I'm going to take his recommendation. I haven't tested him. He has the Kanto YU that he likes. But my viewers, you all, are pretty savvy consumers. Those are nice. They're a little bit more on the pricier side. I don't think there's a Prime, oh, there's a Prime Day. Nope, never mind. No Prime Day for the Kanto Yos. So unfortunately, I don't have much on there. Metal Gear Solid is using Amazon Basics. The only downside is that they don't have a lot of bass. Let's see if we can find any here. Speakers. And I bet those change from time to time also, right? Yeah, most of these are Bluetooth. Here's a USB speaker. Again, this is like 14 bucks. You plug it in, the sound card is built in, right? Yeah, there's not a lot here that I know of. That's the problem. So I'm going to probably move on from that one. Eric Brett is asking a question about spatial audio. Will spatial audio for Apple TV on tvOS 15 be supported by only the new 4K model or also the older HD models for movies? I can't figure out with research. My guess is that it's probably going to be limited. I'd have to look into that. I don't know the answer to that, but my guess is, knowing Apple, it's going to be limited to the 4K ones. I actually got the new 4K. I haven't unboxed it yet. It's on my list of things to do. So we'll take a look at that at some point. But I don't know. I'm guessing 4K is going to be it for the spatial audio. And Tano says, speakers are hard to recommend, especially if you like 2 point. Yeah, so bookshelf. I mean, it's really a matter of sound quality, right? When you get to that point. I used to have these pair of, I can't remember who made them. But they were very small speakers, like these little tweeter things, but they had a big subwoofer that sat on the floor, and they sounded really good. I really liked those quite a bit. Mustafa Mando just ordered the Razer Blade 15. Let's see, take a look at that. I don't know, is that one on sale today? Let's see here. There it is, Prime Day deal. Yeah, that's pretty good. You got the 27 Super Max Q. Decent i7 processor. So, you know, it's like it's running with, you know, last year's loadout, but I wouldn't ding that. It's VR capable. I have never tested a Razer laptop before. So I would defer to those in the chat room to let you know what they think about it, but I think price-wise this is pretty reasonable. You've got a 300 hertz display, 16 gigs of RAM. Yeah, Thunderbolt. I don't think that's a bad price for that. I paid about this much for a Lenovo that was like, had a bunch of discounts last year. I got the 20, or a year and a half ago. So this is about where I would probably see that price come in. And you get it tomorrow, right? So like there's the whole availability thing too. let's see, let me go back through this one here. Hey, Smoke Monster's here, everybody. Yeah, look for the JBL Boombox. And there's two versions of it. So there's a new one and an old one. I think the new one has deeper bass than the old one did because it has a slightly more powerful woofer on it. And it has a huge battery. So it can work as a speaker, but it can also charge your phone or do both. Wireless earbud suggestions. I'm just striking out today because here's the problem I have with wireless earbuds. I don't like the in-ear ones. I can't keep them in my ears. So I don't know what's good or what's not. But here's a couple of ones that are known. Amazon has theirs for 80 bucks. I think Google just came out with their new ones also. These have noise cancellation. I have not tested these. Again, I'm just not comfortable with in-ear earbuds. I just can't wear them. They don't stay in. I don't like the way they feel. I don't like how they block out the noise. So I have the AirPods that just sit in my ear, but they're not inside the ear canal. I think the jabbers aren't bad, right? I really got to get over this in-ear thing, I think. I'm just looking through here to see if there's anything decent. I'm going to defer to the chat room on the earbud recommendations. Oh, here's a point from Eric's Variety Channel about the bookshelf speakers. Yes, and I think if we go back to those real quick, the Edifers have an amplifier built in, and that was something I failed to mention. So these have a built-in amplifier. That's why I like the Edifiers also. Again, they're larger than your standard bookshelf speaker, but there's a built-in amplifier. So if you plug your computer in, it's going to sound great. So that's what's nice about these speakers. They're actually designed for that purpose. I don't know if they're magnetically isolated. I'm pretty sure most of these are magnetically shielded now. Because back in the old days, you couldn't put your speakers near your television unless they were shielded for that purpose. So, so that was something to be aware of there. Okay, here's a recommendation from Brian. The Monoprice DT3. Let's take a look. Monoprice DT3. May not be on Amazon. Let's see. Here you go. Oh, okay. Yeah, Monoprice has some good stuff. 50 watt, 70 bucks. Oops, what happened? My screen just went. My video thing doesn't like the image here. Let me click on this and I'll have it go full. That's weird. So I'm running it through my NDI box and it just doesn't like what it's doing here. That's weird. Hang on a second, we're having technical difficulties. There we go, we're back. Well, this is nice. You know, they also give you a picture so you have a good sense as to what they look like. So I'm going to add these to the list because these actually look pretty good. I don't know, again, I don't know how they sound, but I think these don't take up a lot of room. They're amplified. And they will fit nicely next to a computer. And so that might be my recommendation. And those are on sale for 70 bucks. It is a Prime Day exclusive. There's no, I'm just trying to see if it, oh, it looks like they've got a version with Bluetooth. Those probably cost a little bit more. And they're a little bit bigger. But the no Bluetooth one, 3-inch. Yeah, that'll work. Good. So that's what I like about the chat room. We get some good recommendations here. And Brian, oh, so Brian corrects me to say that the Edifier 1280T is the best one at the moment. So Edifier, yeah, I looked at the Edifiers about a couple years ago. Our 1280T. So let's see what. Yes, here's the Edifier. So again, these are a little bit more expensive, but they're also going to have better sound because you've got a little bit more oomph to them. I may have a pair of these somewhere. I got to check and see. But yeah, those are good speakers. Okay. So Smoke Monster said, if I bring home another boombox, I'll have to sleep on the couch, but that is tempting. Well, you know, sometimes it's worth it, because then you could listen to music on your couch. Eric says that his whole home theater setup is Monoprice monolith speakers. Yeah, they have good stuff. They're good importers for sure, and they have good deals on cables. Bruce Johnson said the Pixel Buds A series just came out. Let's see. So Brian likes the Monolith Series 2. Joe has the Anker Soundcore. Let's take a look at those real quick. So let me take a look at those, see if there's anything on Prime Day. Anker. Is there anything that Anker doesn't make? So they've got a boombox also, Smoke Monster. I haven't tried this one. So Soundcore is like a whole brand. I'm just looking to see if they've got, these mostly like Bluetooth speakers. You ever wonder like how these companies keep track of all the stuff they sell? Here you go, here's some Sennheisers. I haven't tested these, but everything Sennheiser that I've ever used, I've liked. You know what, let me do a search for Sennheiser real quick. So I love Sennheiser stuff. So this might be a good deal. These aren't going to be like spectacular, but they're good little monitor kind of things. Let's see what else we can find here. Sennheiser GSX 300. Yeah, everything Sennheiser I've ever owned, I've really, really enjoyed quite a bit. And oh, Red Techie. So I think we were talking yesterday about the LG monitor that I recommended. So it just got to his place. He's around the corner from me. So I'm curious how that works for you. So that's a single cable solution. I'll pull it up on screen real quick. So if I'm not mistaken, you probably got this one. And what I like about this monitor, if my display doesn't get all wacky again, is that it has a USB Type-C. So that cable will power the MacBook M1 and then activate the video output. So the power goes through the cable into the MacBook. The video goes out, 4K, no problem. You get these two USB ports also, and I think an audio output will work through that as well. So it's almost like a little docking station built into the monitor. And it's 4K. And it's a nice display. LG makes good stuff. And typically I found with a MacBook, the LG stuff tends to work the best. Oh, so Frank Moole's got to get back to work. Well, at least you were here. I'm going to be back tomorrow. I'm going to be streaming at my usual time tomorrow, so don't worry. I'll be back again for that. So George's saying something happened to Sennheiser. Actually, no, nothing happened to Sennheiser, but they spun off their headphone division. So I think they're going to double back down on the microphones and that sort of thing. But they are, yes, they took the entire headphone business and spun it off to Sonova. So they bought the consumer business for Sennheiser. Here, I'll pull it up real quick. And Sennheiser, if you're not aware, Sennheiser is located not that far from me. It's only about 20 minutes away. In fact, I have friends that work there, their headquarters. So Sonova's adding headphones and sound bars. Yep, so Cleatran, the consumer electronics business at Sonova is planned. They'll be aligned with Sennheiser's work councils. So I think there's going to be a lot of synergy between the two. But I think Sennheiser is going to focus on the professional audio and that sort of thing, which is really their specialty. Consumer market's really tough. And the problem for Sennheiser is that their products are so good, you never buy another one. You could buy one. So for example, I'm using a Sennheiser microphone and a wireless pack here. I bought this 5 or 6 years ago and I haven't changed. I haven't had to buy a new part, nothing. The batteries even work. It's crazy. Smoke Monster says a huge deal on the Sennheiser 599 SE for Prime Day. So this shows you how much little I know about speakers. So let me pull up the Sennheiser 599 SE. So what is that? Is that a headset? Yeah, 599 SE, open back headphone. Is that the one? It's 599. That is a pretty good deal, $100 off. If I didn't already have a bunch of Sennheiser headphones, I would be totally in on getting more, because I love its stuff. Yeah, I have the Momentum also, Heffen. In fact, I use the Momentum headphones for VR. They're so good. Like, they're just awesome headphones. Mary Trunks is here. It is going well. I figured I would do a little, end of Prime Day stream here. We had a pretty intense one yesterday, so kind of be a little bit more chill. Yeah, you know what? I bet you I probably stole that idea from Linus, because I think that's where I heard about it first. I was watching his podcast, but I remember him saying the same thing. I was thinking, yeah, he's absolutely right. You never buy a replacement Sennheiser product because they never stop working. And I've got, like, I have their, I'll show you my microphone set. And this stuff is not cheap, okay? But this is what I use for microphones. So I have, yeah, it's expensive. So this is the Sennheiser AVX system. This is never going to be on sale. As you see, I bought one. These things are awesome. So I have the pack here, and then there's a receiver that goes on your camera, and the receiver has an XLR adapter right built into it. See that? So it just I have it on my camera right over there. It just pops into the side into the XLR input, and then they have a version of this kit so I have a stick mic that also works with this. And you know what's amazing about this stuff is that it always works. Like, you don't have to configure frequencies or get stuff to match up. You just turn it on and it works all the time. And I've been to CES, I've been to overseas. I mean, every time I turn this on, it works. And then the range on it is exceptional. So it's really good. D.A. Rivas, I'm going to copy your comment here. I'm going to paste it into my chat here. So let's do that real quick. I don't have the best way to extract the names here. Now, I am not going to be able to give you a good answer on the question you just asked because, here, I'll pull this up on screen, because I have not tried the Echo Buds. But let's take a look and see what they are all about. I think the price is right on these. I think it's got an Alexa built in. Sorry if I set off anybody's devices here. Yeah, like I said, I have an issue with those in-ear things. Like, they're just not comfortable for me. I'm just looking through some of the things here. So here's some issues with concerns about configuration. Like, I want to know how they sound, right? If you understand that you're getting an Alexa device, you've got some so this is a good example of a good review, right? Like, took the time to really dive into it. Looks like he's got some knowledge about this thing. So I don't know. I would say I can't get. I'm loath to recommend these because I just can't get those in-ear earbuds to work on my ears. So I'm not going to be of much help on that, unfortunately. I'm sorry, but I would say that it might be worth picking them up today, because if they work out, great. If not, you can return them, right? So they're $40 off. So that's a pretty good deal, I would say. Let's see what else. Yeah, I did say the A word, didn't I? I have to beep out the A word when we do those things. Now, I don't know what the Bus Plus is. What is that? Let's see. Let's search for a Buds Plus. Oh. Okay, Galaxy Buds Plus. Got it. Yeah, I haven't tried any of these. And again, I'm awful as a tech reviewer because, again, I can't get these things in my ear, right? They just never feel comfortable. So I'm going to let the chats handle that. And here's some more comments from some of the viewers out there about this stuff. So Andre says that the only issue I have with the Echo Buds is the rubber band winglets. The rubber band gets slippery and don't work well to hold in the buds. Otherwise, they're great. And I think that's one of the issues with these in-ear earbuds is that everyone's anatomy and ears are different. Now, again, they all come with different size things that you can stick in. I can never get a good fit on mine. So that's why I have such a hard time with. So here's a good one that I can answer about the monitors. So yes, there are a couple of good monitors. And I would say for Prime Day, I like the LGs quite a bit because I have the most experience with them. And I don't know what resolution you're looking at, but if you're looking for a 4K, and I'll tell you what, they keep let's see, LG 4K. Let's see what they have for LG 4Ks here. So it depends on what you're in need of. So if you don't need a USB Type-C power connector, this one I think is a pretty good price. 4K, LG, decent enough panel. You know, it's not like, this is not and I always like to check this stuff here, the color gamut. So it's like 98% of sRGB, so it's probably not all there completely if you're a super professional person. But what's nice about these, the 4K monitors in particular, is that if your laptop, and most are now, is powerful enough, when you connect it, it's going to scale the display. So you're going to see essentially a 1080p workspace, but the pixels are doubled. And the best way to describe this is like a big version of your high-resolution smartphone. And if you already knew that, I apologize, but I think it's important people understand why a 4K monitor is better, is more than just for watching movies. Because if you think about it, you know, if you sit in front, so right now I'm sitting in front of a 1080p monitor. I'm far enough away from it, this monitor that you can't see right now, that everything looks fine to me. But if I was sitting up close to it like I usually do, you're going to see the pixels. Like it looks okay, but it's not going to look as good as your high-res display on your laptop, for example, if you have one. So when you go to 4K on a 27-inch display that you're maybe a couple of feet away from, everything looks beautiful on it. And what's nice when you plug a Mac in, and Red Techie, if you're out there, let me know how it's looking for you. When you plug a Mac or a Windows computer in, it's going to scale the display so that, again, you're doubling or quadrupling the pixels, and it looks amazing across the board. So that is why I always say if your computer can handle it, get one of these 4K displays. And the one I would recommend for the Mac, if you have a Mac with a USB Type-C port, is this one. And the reason why I recommend this one is because this will also power the laptop, so you can keep your power cable in the bag. And then you can just plug the USB-C cable that it comes with. You just leave the cable out. You bring the laptop up. Because look at that, I got so this Mac that we're on right now, similar thing. I've got it plugged into a dock. This is powering the MacBook. I'm getting a whole bunch of ports on it. And then the video output that you see on the screen here is also coming out of the single cable. So you just plug it in and you're good. So it's almost like getting an extra power supply and a few extra USB ports that go in the back. So these are great. There's another one that's like a higher end version of this one. That's better, obviously, from the color standpoint. Like this one is 99% of sRGB. But for most casual use, you're going to plug this thing in and be like, oh my gosh, it's amazing. Especially if you have like a lower resolution one from before. Richard Maxey's got a question about video game deals. There were some. You know, I think the problem on the video game front is that there's not a lot of supply of consoles, right? So another way that we can sort this is this way. And by the way, old Scruffy one, thanks for the comments on the Galaxy Buds and some input there. So yeah, look, here's all the video game stuff. You know, a couple things like Spider-Man for the PS5, and a few other. Okay, let's take a look. We'll look at a few of the game deals here. So here's I'm looking for the Prime Day stuff here. These are not all Prime Day. Hang on, let me go back. See, it's hard sometimes you navigate off and you get lost. I clicked on that, but it's bringing me here. These are just new, video game Prime Day deals. Okay, here we go. Prime members save on Series S digital games bundle. So these are some digital games. Let's see, Spider-Man, which we saw before. So here's the PS5 games. Let's take a look at these. Oh, brought us back here again. Let me reorient this search. Let's do a search for Prime Day, and we'll do PS5. And we'll go to video games here, see if we get it better. All right, so it's going to give us everything here. Video games, PlayStation 5. Okay. So here's some PS5 deals. I don't have a PS5. I have a Series X that I got a little while ago. Yeah, you got to really sift through this. Let's go back to the Prime Day. Let's try one more time. I'm not looking good here, am I? Usually I'm pretty good at finding stuff on Prime Day. Let's see, smart home, lawn and garden. I just want to do a little browsing, right? But it keeps bringing me into this one spot. It's funny too, they're not like putting video games front and center today either. And it could be that they're out of stock, right? So here's the Switch games, view item. Okay, here's this. Okay, so here's their Prime Day deals. Not a lot for Switch, is there? This is a fun game on the Switch. Actually, all of these are good. Actually, you know what's really cool? So this one is a single player game. This is Zelda Link's Awakening. This is like a remake of the Game Boy game. But Mario Odyssey and Luigi's Mansion, like Nintendo is like Apple. They never have sales. So both of these are good prices. And these, I think, are the physical versions of the games. Yeah. So Mario Odyssey, my kids love both of these games. And what's nice is that in Mario Odyssey, because I have little kids, so I have a 8-year-old and a 5-year-old. So Mario Odyssey, the kid can throw the hat, and the older kid can control Mario. And Luigi's Mansion is really cool because the second player is this guy, the little green guy, and so the little green guy doesn't get killed. So if you have a little kid, you can play as the parent with Luigi, who's got higher stakes. And the green guy can get killed, and then he just comes back out again. And there's some really cool cooperative gameplay in that one. So that one's a lot of fun. Let's see if we can find some more of the PS5 stuff. So it's funny, because when I go to select PlayStation 5 games, it dumps me back out. So I wonder if they sold out. Nintendo Switch Lite is a bundle. Let's see. I can't imagine that being in stock. Oh, it is. It's still in stock. So you get a Switch Lite with a SD card for $199. So it's like getting the card for free, essentially, which is not a bad deal, right? So that's worth looking at. Let's see what else for video games. Some PS4 games. You'll probably find some good deals for PS. Yeah, draw me back out here again. I wonder if they're running out of stock on some of these Prime deals. Mario Kart Live. You got to really dig through the video game section. I didn't see anything that really stuck out to me other than those sales on those Nintendo games. Those are older games, so you probably already have them, but it's worth pursuing. But yeah, I would dig through here a little bit and see if there's any games that really strike your fancy. And we could do like see what's coming up. So you got to really sift through all the accessories too. That's the hard part. Oh, so the Series S is not in stock, I don't think. Let's see if it is. I doubt it. I think the reason is it's a bundle of games that are compatible with Series S, but not actually available. So I don't think you're going to find one of these. Yeah. They're still impossible to get. Let's see. Some good discussion going on in the chat. I'm just going through everything here, see if there's anything. Yeah, so there we go. Luigi's Mansion for $39.99. That's a deal. Honestly, because Nintendo never drops their prices on anything. Ever. They're like Apple. So if you get a good deal on a Nintendo game, go for it. And you know what's great about, here's the other thing, the Switch games, because they're physical, you have retained value. There's almost some equity stake you have in the game. So when the kids are done with the games, you can sell them because they're still pretty valuable. So I got a question here from Roberta. Andre, need a new Vizio 50 TV. Okay, so let's take a look at some TVs. I do have some, I can probably help on the TV front. I got to really expand my horizons here, don't I, everybody? I'm striking out on answering questions effectively, but I think I might be able to help on the TV. So let's go back to Prime Day. I'm going to search for TVs. And let's take a look. So you have a 50-inch Vizio. Now, I haven't used a lot of these televisions, but I've seen some of these in person. And I'm just browsing through some of these now to see. I want to see if there's a TCL. Wow, the TVs are really, yeah, it looks like the Insignias are all that's left on Prime Day here. Let's go back and do a little browse of, I think all of these electronic shortages have really made this difficult. Let's go to television and video. Wow, that's it, huh? Look at that. All right, so let's dig in a little bit further here. So let's go over to, oh, that's upcoming, that's why. Okay, so let's go to available, and we'll go to television and video. There we go. Okay. So I'm guessing you want another 50-inch TV. And that's the tricky part, because here's a 50-inch. What's this one? The Insignia. Now, here I am again. I have not tried the Insignias, so I cannot comment on the picture quality. And maybe some folks in the chat can add in some of their own experiences. But I would say that if you have a Vizio now, this will be a comparable set with a higher resolution. And I'm just looking through the specs here. Now, does this support, so it does HDR, so you have that if you've got some of the HDR capable stuff. So, and it runs Fire TV, it's built in. So that's pretty reasonable for a 50-inch, I think. Again, I haven't tested the Vizio, the Insignias. Toshibas I've seen in person, they're decent. But they have a 43, and you got a 65-inch Insignia here. Here's another 50. Oh, here you go. Yeah, you know, I'm more comfortable recommending a Toshiba on a 50. 55. Yeah, so let's take a look at this one. That one's a little more attractive also. It's got a smaller bezel. It's a little bit more expensive though. So you got a few more HDMI inputs on there too. Yeah, these are nice. So let's see what HDR modes this supports. So this supports HDR. Oh, it says this one actually, this is pretty good. So what I like about this one, first of all, I think it's more attractive. The second thing is that it supports Dolby Vision and it supports HDR10. So I think if I were you, I would go with the Toshiba here if you're looking for a 50 at this price. 110 bucks off. Again, I haven't seen this particular model in person, but I've seen the Toshibas at shows that I've been to, and they're pretty good. And this, of course, has the Amazon Fire TV built in. And I think it has most of the apps these days also, so you should have a pretty good experience with that. And as it's pointed out here, the HDR that's very true. It's not going to look as good as it's going to look on an OLED TV. So, you know, just keep your expectations in check. It's not, you know, it's not up there with the TVs that cost a lot more. But I have a 65 from another brand similar to that, and it's not bad for the price point. But you're right, it's not going to be as good as it would be on an OLED here. I mean, here's the problem. Is once you look at an OLED TV, it ruins you for any other kind of television. No question about it. And Andre here agrees, the Toshiba is the better one. He thinks the C350, which what I'm looking at here, thinks it's awesome. So there you go. Zozu's asking about backlight dimming. I even on the cheap one, I've got a Hisense that I got in for review a while ago. That has backlight dimming. It has regional backlight dimming. So it ruins you when you look at it. You know, when I go upstairs to my LG OLED set. And you know what's funny? My OLED, I bought that like 4 years ago, 5 years ago maybe. And I cannot, every time I sit down in front of that TV to watch something, I just love it. Like I can't get over how good that television is. And I've owned it for 5 years. And look at me, I buy all this stuff all the time. And I am totally happy with that TV. I'll never be happier until I want to do 120 hertz or something like that. Let's see here. I'm going to make sure I don't miss anything. Chris Allegretta is here. Link's Awakening is great. Besides being about 71 years old or so. Yeah, I had it on the Game Boy and never got around to playing it. I'm just going to search through here. I think I saw another comment that I wanted to bring up. Any recommendations for smart doorbells? You know, it's tough. You know what it is, the problem I have with the doorbells? Is that every one of them wants a subscription, right? So that's been like my apprehension with those. I think Wise has a doorbell. I don't think they've got enough quantity yet to make them work. And I have been looking, so what I'm after for myself is I'm after a doorbell that has the feature set of the camera and everything, the two-way communication, but does not have a subscription fee. And I've looked at a few, and they're not very good. I will say, you know, even though the Ring has a subscription, I think the Ring is well executed in its design and how it works. And from a simplicity standpoint, my father, you know, I always look at my dad. My dad's a smart guy, but he doesn't have the patience to deal with stuff. And he likes the Ring. A lot of other people I know that aren't that techie are good with the Rings. So those are the ones that I think I just say, you know, go with the Ring. The problem is that you have to pay the monthly subscription fee after your preview or your demo period ends, or you'll lose functionality. And I don't like products that remove functionality, but that's what you get there. I'm going to have a comment here from Amazon I'm going to put up here in a second. Let me just add it to the chat. But yeah, Ring requires, as far as I know, like you can use it without the subscription, but it's not very useful. All right, I'm going to pull up a few more here. I know I'm missing some, so I apologize. They're coming in so quickly. It's hard to get there. So this is from Brandy on Amazon. I'm looking for a camera for blogging. Currently, I have an iPhone 12, preferably something that will travel well. You know, honestly, I will tell you this. If you have an iPhone 12, you're not going to find a better camera than that unless you're looking for a zoom or something, right? So, you know, from that standpoint, I think going into like one of the mirrorless cameras, like you need to go into, you know, something. Let's see if we can find one on Prime Day here. You're going to want to get like a real camera, right? An Olympus. I'm looking through just some of the Prime Day deals here. You're going to be looking at an Olympus. I'm surprised there's nothing from like Nikon here. Sony makes some good stuff. You're going to spend some money on these things because what you have to do is you have to get the lens on top of the camera body. But there's been a real movement to standardize these micro 4/3 lenses, so you can typically get a pretty good deal on stuff. People like these cameras. I know a lot of YouTubers are using these, right? The Lumix G7s. And I have not used one myself, but I think a lot of popular YouTubers are using this camera. And it has some interchangeable lenses. Because what you really want, because like your iPhone's going to be great for the wider angle shots. What you really want is something for telephoto, right? So this one has a 45 to 150. You probably want to go a little bit further with that. So I would spend some time and figure out what your budget is. And what you could do, here's what I would recommend. I think if you want to get serious about your photography, by the way, the Sony here is nice too, but that's really expensive. You know, find a camera body that you like, that fits your budget, that has some of the features you're looking for. And if you're looking at Sony, Canon, Nikon, like the major brands, they're all good. You know, like there's little differences between them, and maybe if you find yourself in low light situations, one might be a little bit better than the other. But I would really find the camera body that works best for what you're looking for. And then this is what I did. There are companies that will rent you nice lenses. So and I would do this. In fact, 10 years ago yesterday, I went to the space shuttle to go inside on a NASA tour, and I rented a lens for that purpose, just for that day. So And it was funny actually because it was a local company that was renting them, and I had to meet them in a parking lot. It was kind of shady, but they gave me this huge expensive lens. And what was fun about renting lenses is that I was able to experience all of these awesome lenses, and I would go to places with 2 or 3 of these really nice lenses, and then figure, from what I used the most, I could determine what I would actually want to buy. So that was how I kind of narrowed down what lenses I needed based on what I was using the most in the field. And the nice part with renting lenses, you can rent them for less than the price of renting a car, and you can just get them when you need them. So if you're doing a trip, you can kind of go from there. But honestly, if you're blogging and you're trying to build, I've always said this to people also. If you are, and I'm assuming you're blogging and not vlogging, but if you are building a YouTube audience, for example, my advice to everyone is, don't start with the equipment. Start with what you have and build an audience from what you have. And if you're able to, look at me. This is like, look at this. I have not changed this in years because it works. I should change it, but I haven't. So if you start with, with what you have, and then as you start honing your craft, you start adding in more things to do what you're trying to accomplish. Because I know so many people, I give this advice all the time. So many people will come to me and say, what equipment do I need to buy to get started? That's the wrong way. It's like, you go with what you have. Now, Brandy, what you are saying about the sound, that's where I would look at some kind of microphone system. So I went with a lavalier. I know a lot of people like to start with the Rode mics. So I'm just looking through to see if there's anything on sale here. There are ways to interface your iPhone with a USB microphone. And I think all you need for that is a Lightning to USB adapter. So I know a lot of bloggers like to use, they like to use those big mics, right? So I'm just looking through here, looking for the Apple one. And I would look at ones that are certified. So for example, like you can get something like, and I'm assuming they're certified because it says it is here, and Apple would not be happy if they weren't. But what these do is, even though it says it's for a camera, when you plug a microphone in, that microphone is going to carry through. And it generally works with with most of the apps that you would record on. So I would get that, and if you have a microphone already, a USB microphone to plug in, you're golden. But a lot of the bloggers use like some of those big expensive mics, but you don't really need that to start. The Rode mics are the ones that I think a lot of people begin with. I like a lavalier just because it keeps my hands free and I can move around a little bit. So that's what I tend to go with. Hopefully that helps. Keep asking questions though if you have some questions there. And Brandon says, "Don't change. I love the background." I'm not. Yeah, this is about the best I could ever do for background. So it's really about the lighting, I think, is the big issue there. Let's see. So Red Techie, who's my fellow Unify guy, I'm going to have some stuff to say about Unify tomorrow. I've been having some issues, so you're going to hear about my issues. But Unify actually is nice because even though it's pricey and difficult to set up, it's yours. It runs on your network, so you don't have to pay any monthly fees or anything. So and they have a nice doorbell too. That's on my list of things to do. And a lot of discussion about that. I knew that would get people going once we talk about Unify. I'm on the YouTube chat here. Oh, here's a good tip from Thomas Anfang about video doorbells. If you find one that's certified for Apple's HomeKit, you get the storage as, oh, that's right. I forgot about that. That's a great tip for people looking for doorbells and stuff. So there you go. Smoke Monster, tell me about your Dream Machine Pro problem. I honestly would love to hear about this because I have had twice now, I've had to rebuild my entire network from scratch, including this past Saturday. And it happens every time they update the firmware. And the first time, I chalked it up to, well, I imported the settings from the other Dream Machine, so I thought that might have been the reason why it must have choked up on the firmware update. But this past time, it just stopped booting. And you'll hear me talk about this tomorrow. And I didn't do a backup stupidly, so that's my fault on backing up the configuration. But now, like, they keep changing everything. It's just, it's crazy. So, yep, all firmware bugs. Yeah, it's still buggy. It feels like a beta product. But there's nothing better. So, and here's what was weird was that I was locked out of everything, but I could still work on the internet. So my connection was fine, but yeah. Fossil's wondering, can I drop it in the chat? You know what I'm going to do, actually? I'm going to put this in my product carousel right now. So let's say iPhone to USB, or Lightning to USB adapter. I don't have this one, but I think if it's saying it's certified, it's probably fine. Where did it go? Here it is. And Apple, of course, has their own that costs more. But I will put this in my thing here. And I've done this before, is I've used these, let me just paste it in here. There we go. I've used these before, similar ones, and I've been able to get USB mics to work just fine on my iPhone. I've got like a little rig. I haven't really had much need for it, but I have a little rig where I can actually hook up my Sennheiser stuff, my wireless Sennheiser stuff, into the iPhone. Isn't that cool? So I could just walk around with my usual equipment and have a much smaller camera. So it's good stuff. David Lang was, how long did it take to clear up yesterday? Was there cable confusion? I'm guessing are you talking about my Unify problem? It actually took me all of Sunday to get it fixed. It was pretty crazy. It looks like Garrett's having some issues with how they bundled things yesterday, huh? All right. And Bruce Johnson, thanks for stopping by. And I got to get moving here in a minute, folks, because I've got stuff to do still. So yeah, so we're going to have a fun week this week on the channel. Oh, Frank says, what all the stuff I unpacked? Yeah. So Frank Romer says, I unboxed a bunch of stuff yesterday. Actually, I just threw it all in a box, which is now it's going to sit somewhere until I get to it all. Some of it's still over here, so I've got a big old mess to clean up. It's not getting any better. But yeah, it was a messy day yesterday. And here, let me reset my thing here. I'll answer a few more questions. Give me 1 second here. So yesterday, he asked me about the Wyze base station. He says, the Wyze cams come with a solar panel to charge the units. They do not. So, and I still have it on the desk here. This is the one thing I didn't put away yet because I'm intending on getting it set up. So there are solar panel kits that you can purchase that will top off the camera during the day if you're looking at the outdoor camera. But honestly, the battery life on these is so good that, it's just every once in a while you just got to go in and charge it. So that's what I do. I just bring it in, charge it for, it's like Sunday afternoon. If it's at like 10%, I'll pull it off the garage in the afternoon, bring it in, charge it, and put it back up. Frank Cromer said, just like Christmas. It was, for sure. So yeah, there you go. Ed E is here. Hello. And actually, I'm getting ready to call it a night, everybody. This was fun, though. We had a good, it's funny, my traffic goes up. So Prime Day for me, if I do my job during the year and find a lot of cool stuff to review, Prime Day for me is pretty much like Black Friday is in November. Like I get a huge spike in traffic. So it's great stuff. And glad I could be helpful, Fossil, on the Starlink. Yeah, I still have mine. I guess the proper word is canceled my service, but in my head I paused it because I don't need it at the moment. But if the hurricanes come through, I will need it. So I have the Starlink is in my basement over there. And if the time comes in which I need to get it set up, hopefully there'll be a slot for me and I can use it. Red Techie in the chat, he lives around the corner from me. He's sticking with it. He just put his up on a pole, got all his obstructions out of the way. He's very happy with it now. So he's doing good stuff. And yeah, so this is exactly the issue with the Dream Machine Pro. Like it is a great router, and like And what's great about it is that the price is so attractive for its feature set, but you got all this baggage you got to deal with it, and that's what's been frustrating. So hopefully they'll get it working. But it's fine now. I'm streaming and everything's good. So Cyborg, thank you for tuning in. I appreciate it. So yeah, I want to thank you all for popping in, and I want to see if I missed anybody here. So I know that we got a chat from Eric's super chat from Eric's Variety Channel earlier. So thank you all for popping in. Yeah, Eric's Variety. It's funny, it didn't show up in my viewer activity. But yeah, so there we go. So good stuff. Well, hopefully we had a little bit of fun browsing Amazon Prime Day as it's closing out. And I will likely be back tomorrow because I've got some stuff to test here on the desk. So either tomorrow's Wednesday. So we'll see how well I do in the morning with my 2 videos I want to shoot. And then you might see me tomorrow, you might see me Thursday. And either way, I'll be one of the 2 days. And we're going to be testing out the WD Black gaming portable SSD, which as far as I can see is about the same. It's like a different version of the Extreme Pro. So there you go. But yeah, this was fun. I didn't know how this would go because I had no plan. Usually I like to have a plan when I sit down to do a stream. So this has been fun here. Hey, Joe Tyson's here. Joe usually shows up in the afternoon when I do my afternoon streams. So there you go. Sam Lazar's birthday was yesterday. Is in Australia. What time is it in Australia? It's got to be like, it is 7:30 a.m. He's just waking up. All right. Well, everybody, I hope you all had a great day. And so this is what's funny is that once they're working, they're fine. And here's my my gut on this. I think the newer hardware revisions of the UDM Pros are less prone to some of these firmware gotchas than the older ones. And I think I got one of the earlier ones, and that might be why. Because I've had like two firmware updates now that have basically required a full reset. Yeah. And I didn't want to be one of those people that complains all the time, but it's like legit. It's weird. But I would suggest, and I'm sure you do this because you're managing 5 of them, back up the settings just in case. Because when it hits you, it's like, whoa, and then you're stuck. So there you go. All right, I got to run, everybody. I got messages coming in. I got emails to return, dinner to cook. So all sorts of stuff going on this afternoon. But thank you all for tuning in, and we'll have a more directed stream in the very near future. So thanks for watching, and get some deals. Prime Day still goes on for another couple hours. So shop. See you later. Bye-bye.